middle-class meltdown. Thanks to the reckless policies of our leaders, the middle class in the United States is in huge trouble, Michael Snyder reports. The middle class in the U.S. has been steadily shrinking for decades, but in recent years our leaders have greatly accelerated that process. In 2020, 21, and 22, they absolutely flooded the system with new money, and almost all of that new money went into the pockets of the wealthy. The gap between the wealthy and the rest of us is now larger than ever, and that is not a good thing for our society. Even if you're still making as much money as you did a few years ago, you have lost a lot of ground financially because the cost of living has been rapidly eating away at our standard of living. And as I covered the other day, household income in the United States has declined by 9.1% since April 2020 after adjusting for inflation and taxes. In other words, the middle class is a whole lot smaller than it was in April 2020, and it continues to get smaller with each passing day. According to Moody's chief economist Mark Zandi, on average, Americans are now spending $709 more per month on everyday goods and services than they did 2 years ago. Americans are spending $709 more per month on everyday goods and services than they did 2 years ago, according to Moody's Analytics. Moody's chief economist Mark Zandi made the statement Friday on X, formerly known as Twitter, as part of his analysis of July's Consumer Price Index report. Is the rising cost of living causing financial stress for you? If it is, you're definitely not alone. The wealthy are doing just fine for the moment, but inflation has caused a lot of pain for the vast majority of the rest of us. Just paying for a place to live has become increasingly oppressive. Personally, I was astounded to learn that the average rent in Manhattan has now reached $5,588 per month. New Yorkers are feeling the squeeze as rents hit a new high. Rent in Manhattan soared to a record high average of $5,588 in July, up 9% from 2022. It's hurting tenants struggling to find apartments they can afford. One apartment hunter said she can't find a studio to suit her work-from-home needs for less than $5,000. A studio, $5,000. Who can afford that? Only the wealthy. Of course, the truth is that rents have been soaring all over the country. It's been reported that the nationwide average rent-to-income ratio has exceeded 30% for the past 2 years. This is the very first time in the entire history of our country that this has ever happened. With the rents being so high, a lot of Americans are being forced out into the streets. According to the Wall Street Journal, the United States has seen a record increase in homeless people this year. Please let that statement sink in for a moment. So far in 2023, the number of homeless people in the U.S. is up 11% from last year. That's the biggest jump that the government has ever recorded. Not even during the recession of 2008 and 9 did we see anything like this. Unfortunately, the outlook for the months ahead is not promising because it looks like the cost of living is going to continue to rise at a brisk pace. According to CNN, the average price of a gallon of gasoline has nearly reached $4 a gallon. Pump prices are creeping towards $4 a gallon nationally. The national average for regular gasoline hit $3.85 a gallon on Monday, according to AAA. That's the highest level since October 19 and comes just weeks ahead of Labor Day weekend when millions of Americans will hit the roads. I remember the days when I could fill up my vehicle for less than $20. But the other day I spent $70 at the gas station, and that didn't even fill the tank. And we're being warned that U.S. consumers are going to have a lot less discretionary income in the months ahead as tens of millions are forced to start making payments on student loans again. For more than 3 years, federal student loan borrowers have not had to make monthly payments, but that pandemic-era pause is coming to an end this fall, setting up a financial shock for millions of Americans and the big-name stores such as Target's, Nike, Under Armour, and Gap, where they shop. About 44 million borrowers in the United States were affected by the payment pause, which initially began March 2020 at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Biden administration extended the pause for the 8th time in November, but will not do so again as part of the bipartisan debt ceiling deal approved by Congress. More than 60% of all Americans are already living paycheck to paycheck, and many are increasingly turning out to debt in order to make ends meet. In fact, total credit card debt now exceeds $1 trillion mark for the first time ever, and that's not a good sign at all. Also, an increasing number of Americans are now dipping into their 401k plans. When father of two, Ivan Marusik, lost his job overnight in 2020, he was left panicking about how he would cover his mortgage. It prompted the 35-year-old from Texas to do something he never thought he would: withdraw $20,000 from his 401k. It's a decision he's still paying for now. I was really hesitant to do it because I knew it would set me back financially in the long run, but I didn't have any other options. I had already maxed out my credit card and I was running out of money, Marusik, a tech worker who has since founded the website Game Taco, told Daily Mail. We really are witnessing a middle-class meltdown. I've been warning about this trend in my books for years, and now the evisceration of middle class has greatly accelerated. I wish I could tell you that there is economic hope on the horizon, but I can't do that because our leaders continue to make incredibly self-destructive decisions which are going to cause immense economic pain for the entire country. This is by Michael Snyder, and he says, "My name is Michael." About the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of the latest updates. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, the most important news, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, or financial or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.